Okay, that sound didn't work on the first recording. So if you can't hear it, this is the second part. We're going to pass my computer around and we're going to be sharing what is the hymn or psalm or praise song that has connected you to God. And I'm looking forward to just passing this around and we'll see where we go. So let's pass it away.
Okay. For me, I wrote down 2 older hymns that take me back to childhood, younger, listen to my grandma, lead the small choir. So I Surrender All and How Great Thou Art. Every time I hear one of those, it just like choke up, and they're just so good. So good. So Psalm, for me, it's easy and it's probably the most popular, but the 23rd, because it starts with,
The Lord is
my shepherd, yes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
If everybody says Psalm 23, that's completely fine. There's a reason that it's the most famous. Okay, people.
So I do love Psalm 23, but mine is actually Psalm 22.
Okay.
Because when I realized that Jesus was crying out the beginning of that psalm in English on the cross, it like really kind of redefined my faith to know it was how he felt. It wasn't the truth of the cross. God wasn't turning his back on him. And that has meant the world to me. If you read the full, and you see at the end, he has done it. Like God has done it. So that's probably my favorite psalm.
Great.
And then for song, before Kinsler was old enough to object to me singing it every night, I would sing Good, Good Father. If you know that one, you're good, good Father, that's who you are. And I'm loved by you, that's who I am. I mean, there's something about like singing something over and over again, kind of like how John talks about, where if you say it enough, maybe, you'll start to like, it'll seep into those deepest parts of yourself. And I feel like that was also kind of life-changing.
Sorry, my disciple book is under here and it's kind of wobbly. So I haven't spent enough time in the Psalms to really have a favorite one, but 23rd, I know that one, so I guess I'll go with that. And then as far as hymns, I have 2 favorites. One is How Great Thou Art, and the other is Holy, Holy, Holy.
So I thought you said Psalm or proverb.
Hey, yeah.
So
You can share proverb for sure.
yeah. Okay. Well, so the one I chose was for proverb was Proverbs 22:1. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. A lot growing up, I was taught it was important to make a lot of money. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that the only way that I'm truly passionate or happy is to be doing something that I'm passionate about. And that job that I do is not for the money, for sure. Today was a crazy day. But yes, and then my hymn, like probably the favorite one would be It Is Well With My Soul, just from hearing my Meemaw play it on the piano in her house, and also How Great Thou Art. I think they were both at her funeral as well. And so yeah, those always make me like choke up whenever I hear them, like especially It Is Well With My Soul.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
I'm Rob, and I wanted to say pass, but then I remembered some stuff, so I don't have to. So my favorite psalm is 122, and the reason for that was when we were in Israel, every place we would go in those 3 weeks, every once in a while, our pastor that was leading us, we had 2 actually, would have somebody do something or do a reading of wherever we were at, and we were on the southern steps of the Temple Mount, and we were sitting there, and then so he asked me if I would read that, and so I did, and that was kind of special. So it's a if you don't know what Psalm 122 is, it's a song of praise and prayer for Jerusalem, and a prayer of ascent, and that's where the people would always, that was where they actually went to the temple, was through the southern area there. So
Oh, that's awesome.
anyway, and then the song I was going to say, I would have said How Great Thou Art. I guess everybody's saying it, but I remember it wasn't my favorite when I first heard it, because I was a little boy being drugged through the parking lot of the fairgrounds in the 50s and Billy Graham was there, and my dad was in the choir and he sang that song, and so he would practice it a lot at home, and I hated doing that, and I'm sure they were dragging me. I can barely remember it, but anyway, but my real favorite song is "Oh Praise the Name," and I love that song during especially at Easter. I love that one. So
in the 50s.
I'm Vicki Wilson, and the favorite, and this is silly. It's just so me because have attention deficit. Be still and know that I am God, because whenever my mind starts going nuts, I have to stop myself and say that. Psalm 46:10. Is that the right? Okay. And then my favorite song is Joy to the World. And I want it sung at my funeral. Make a note of that, Rob. I love Joy to the World. That's the most important because God just brings so much joy. And then I was just thinking, like, a proverb at my house was, yes, you will go to college and you will graduate, because we were so dirt poor we couldn't even put food on the table. But my mother just kept preaching. And so that's the proverb that still spins in my head. And we all made it, all three of us.
I'm Kristen. 23rd Psalm, just like everyone else. But I think for me, I think back on, I would just at times when I was freaked out or something was happening, hi, I have anxiety. I would think back to Thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And just, I would say those words to myself sometimes when I would think about that. And that leads into my favorite chorus. It's not a hymn, but I talked about this when we did the hymns through the year, the songs through the years, the decades. The It Is Well worship song, not the hymn. But that song really hit me through the beginning of COVID, because it talked about through it all, my eyes are on you, through it all, it is well. And I would have to stop myself daily when I would be sitting at home and spiraling, thinking about all the people that were dying and who's taking care of these people and how are we going to stop this and what's, and that would just bring me comfort to stop and go, okay, I need to, as my friend says, take a knee. And I had another favorite and I forgot what I just forgot it again. So will I. Good night. The So Will I song that we sing sometimes when we went to Yellowstone last year. We're driving through the middle of the park and we're listening to it, and it just puts a whole new spin on it just to hear when the mountains bow in reverence and you're staring at the mountains. It was just powerful. So
Next. Hi, I'm Allie. I think my favorite psalm probably would have to be Psalm 95, 1-7. And I don't know why. I remember as a kid, I think I was in quizzing, and I mean, as a really little kid, and I think that was one of the first psalms I remember memorizing. And it's just talking about come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us give a joyful shout to the rock of our salvation. And I don't know, I just remember learning that as a kid, and during some hard times, remember, just reciting that over and over again. Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. We are his people and he watches over us. So that just brought a lot of comfort. And then a hymn,
Probably two of them, Day by Day and Great is Thy Faithfulness. Day by Day was my mom's favorite hymn. And I was a freshman in college and she died of cancer. And I would go home on weekends and sing that to her every weekend because it was her favorite song. And I would just I remember sitting by her and just singing those words over and over again. And I think, after she died and during the, hard times, that song just would come back to me and the words just meant a lot more to me. Remembering her, but also saying those truths over and over again. And again, great is thy faithfulness, just his faithfulness to us, at all times. So.
So I've had a really long, like draining day today, like mentally, physically, emotionally. It's been a rough day. And so I heard you say Psalm and I wrote down Psalm, but my brain just decided pick whatever favorite verse you like. And that's it.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wrote down Proverbs 26:11, which any young boy who grew up in a church, that was one of your first favorite verses. And it stuck with me as I matured and became favorite for other reasons. It's as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool to his folly. And of course, every little boy loves it because if you're in any sort of service and pastor says, well, what's your favorite verse? And you say it, and the pastor has to say dog and vomit from the pulpit. So that's, but the wisdom in that verse, I truly love it. I also just am a little boy a little bit, but so that was the verse. My favorite hymns, my favorite hymn that I wrote down were Blessed Assurance and He Lives. Blessed Assurance is just beautiful. And whenever, I don't know why, but just whenever I sing Blessed Assurance, I just automatically go right into singing He Lives. But yeah, so that's why I wrote those down. And then as a family proverb, I wrote down, you can do anything for, and originally it was, you could do anything for 3 days. I don't want to get into what happened because I did something and and there were consequences to the actions. And mom said, well, you could do anything for 3 days. So, okay, I can do anything for 3 days. And it's just evolved to really any period of time. I mean, at one point I said, okay, you could do anything for 6 months. Just because you kind of can, you know what I'm saying? Like if you make that your goal, you can. So yeah, that's the family proverb that I had.
This is weird having the whole computer here. My name is Brittany, and for my psalm, I went with Psalm 139. I've always kind of returned to that one. It's all about being known by God, like at your deepest level, and not being able to escape him no matter how hard you could try. Like he's always there at the highs, at the lows, like all of it. So I've always loved that one and returned to that one a lot. And I like how in this version it like literally titles this one The Inescapable God. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't think I've seen it, with that title before, but I like that.
One of their very first CDs.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I really love that one. And for a song, there's just so many for so many different reasons, but one of my favorite actual hymns is probably Come Thou Fount. Because I just think it just has a lot of beautiful, beautiful lines in it. And like just parts about, remembering God, like through all the moments in my life. And then, you know, wanting him to, like, there's a line that says, bind my wandering heart to thee. And I get kind of teary eyed at like the very end when it says, like, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Because I just think it's so ironic that it's like, why would I leave someone I love? But it's so like true, like that's happened, you know, just in my heart, you know, I leave this God that like deep down, like I love him and I can't not love him, but somehow I still find my way, you know, to wander away and then have to find my way back. And he's just always right there. So, love that one. And one of my, I have a couple of like family proverbs. They're both, well, one of them is from my mom, one is from my brother. My mom always says knowing and doing are two different things. And she would always kind of use that to like get onto it. You know, she would be like, she's like,
what was that found in Proverbs?
I think a verse that almost kind of says it like that. She's like, I told you it was in the Bible. But yeah, anytime she tells us something to do, you know, and then we like forget and don't do it, she's like, knowing and doing are two different things. Because we'll be like, I know. And she's like, knowing and doing. And we just know what she means. So, and then my brother has one that he accidentally said, but then it became a phrase for us. I was going through something, I don't know, and he just blurted out, man up and be a girl. He didn't mean to say it, but we just like latched onto it. So we always say man up and be a girl.
That's fantastic.
I like that one.
Chinka's family proverb.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great.
I think my mom wants the knowing and doing written on her gravestone. She's requested it. Just her thing.
Oh man. I'm Emily. My favorite psalm is Psalm 91.
Yeah, great.
And then my favorite hymn is His Eye is on the Sparrow. Love that one. So, I'm sure there were proverbs in my family, but none of them stuck around.
Brad Boxberger, would you be willing to share? We haven't seen you tonight, but I know you're listening in because I've seen a text. Yeah, would you mind to share a favorite psalm and song and or proverb? Just a second. Let me make sure we can hear you from on our end. Go ahead and say, start, try it again. Nope.
Nope.
You aren't on mute. Okay, now,
I can't hear anything.
There you go.
now Brad, try again.
Nope.
Nope. Brad, I think it's on your end. Yeah. Hey, Brad, can you, since it's 8 o'clock, can you text me yours? I'll share yours, but I know I can hear Braylon and Beth. So Braylon, can you share with us?
My favorite songs.
Oh, wait. Now we can't hear Braylon. Just a second.
Can you hear me?
Go.
I can hear you, Braylon. I can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me? Yeah. Okay. My favorite Psalms is 84. I love Psalms 84. I literally have it in my notes because I like read it all the time. I don't necessarily have a favorite hymn, but my favorite worship song is a song called Hills and Valleys by this artist named Torrin Wells. And it's basically speaking on when life is going good, I will bow and praise you. But even when life is, terrible, I can still look at you and still know that you are there, Yeah. Love the song. Yes. So
Thanks, man. I'll listen on the way home. Beth?
Vicky took mine. I think it's be still and know. But I get in my biggest problems. I just shut up, shut down, and just be still. And I know. Proverbs has got to be Proverb 31. The woman. Hymns, a lot of hymns, just because music's been my life for a big part of my Christian life. But to me, God speaks to me through music. And Casting Crowns, Eye of the Storm, and Just Be Held. Those are my mantra songs. Just be held. Not keep calm and the kitty cat hanging on. Let go and just be held. I'm the little lamb. He's holding in his arms and we're walking together. But you only see that one set of footprints because he's holding you. So let go and just be held.
Thank you, Beth. I think you can mute that. And I will share and pray us to close at 8:02. Thanks for your heart. heart and sharing tonight, I want to share Brad's favorite song. Brad says, my favorite worship song is the Gungor version of This Is My Father's World. It adds so much to the classic and always moves me. Thank you, Brad. My favorite psalm is Psalm 46. This is the third person. We got a close second behind Psalm 23 as the favorite psalm of the class. I too love just the movements of it. And it's one of the psalms I memorized early in pastoral ministry and can kind of go to a hospital room or a bedside and just recite it, pretty easily. And so it's one of the psalms that we named for our girls when we gave them so when they did like life verse during a dedication, we did the life psalm. And so ours was Psalm 46 and Psalm 121 for our girls. And those are kind of the two psalms that I love the most, wanting them to have not just a verse, but kind of a passage to kind of live into. And then my favorite song would be And Can It Be, that Wesley hymn that I love so much. I think the third verse is just so powerful. I don't have it in front of me, but your love kind of finds out me. God's love finds me out. I love what that says about love finding me out. And then Vicki and I are just on the same wavelength tonight. She said, joy to the world. Oh, holy night is to me. I just love his law is love and his gospel is peace is something that I just think is the truth. And in chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother. Just kind of what a subversive hymn it was in its context is really, really powerful. And so I love Christmas hymns. I just think they're beautiful. So when Dr. Riegert starts playing on the organ this Sunday for Joy to the World to start, you're just like, yeah, I'm in the right place. This is where I should be right now. So thanks for tonight.
Oh, holy night, one of the most meaningful,
really special for us to be able to be together. I hope that it was informative, the kind of ebbs and flows. Sorry it didn't get recorded with sound. We'll see how it works. But this has been really special. And so I'm going to stop recording on this. And I'd probably, if it's okay with you, I'll probably post this too. So someone like Kelly and the Bells can kind of see what this is. Yeah, it was so good. So if you are watching on this online and part of this year's disciple class, would you text me, you'll have my cell phone number, what your response is, and I can put that in the email that I will send you, on the second or third to remind you that you're part of a disciple class that's going to be meeting together soon. Because, and just, yeah, when you're recovering on the second, remember, think that, oh, I'm part of the disciple. I need to read Jonah. So read Jonah before we meet next time again. I want to say a prayer of blessing for you. It's 8:05. I kept you late. I'm sorry. But I would just say a quick prayer of blessing for you for this Christmas holiday. Oh, you guys, it's so exciting. Like we get done right now. And what are we hoping for? Like Yahweh incarnate, Emmanuel, God is with us. That's what we're going to get. It's just, I love how disciple works because we are left wanting. We are waiting in hope for the promise of what is to come. And Yahweh comes as a baby boy.
Joy to the world.
Joy to the world.
Joy to the world.
You just read the lyrics. Jesus, thank you that you come to us and you are joy to the world. And we are so grateful for your life and for your love. And God, I ask during this Christmas season that as we reflect on the semester you've given us in love and grace and compassion, that you would continue to reveal yourself to us as joy to the world. Your law is love and your gospel is peace. And with that rule and reign in our hearts and in all of our relationships over these next few weeks as we celebrate your birth, we love you. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, Pastor
Thank you,
Jason.